In 2016, a Nobel Prize was awarded for discovering how your cells clean themselves. Most people think it is about expensive supplements, but 100-year-old geniuses have been doing it for free using a simple kitchen routine. It is a biological process that is happening inside you right now, but for 99% of the modern population, this switch is stuck in the off position. We are going to turn yours back on today. Before we unlock the specific protocol that science suggests is the key to extreme longevity and cognitive sharpness, I have a small request. If you want to separate medical fact from wellness fiction, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone you care about. We are building a community rooted in science, not trends, and your support helps us get this information to the people who need it most. I am Dr. Aria Wells, and today we are talking about autophagy. Let's start with the hard truth about your anatomy. Imagine your house. Imagine if you brought groceries in every single day, cooked meals, opened packages, and generated trash, but you never ever took the garbage out. Not once in 30 years. The hallways would be blocked, the kitchen would be unusable, and eventually the structural integrity of the house would rot away. This is exactly what is happening inside your cells when you eat the standard modern diet. You are constantly bringing in fuel, constantly building, but never taking out the trash. In biological terms, this trash consists of misfolded proteins, damaged organelles, and dysfunctional mitochondria. When this cellular debris accumulates, it leads to the diseases we associate with aging: Alzheimer's, cancer, metabolic syndrome, and systemic inflammation. In 2016, Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine because he mapped out the mechanism of autophagy. The word comes from Greek, meaning self-eating. It sounds gruesome, but it is actually the most beautiful recycling program in nature. When your body enters a specific physiological state, your cells hunt down that accumulated trash, the broken proteins and the weak components, and they recycle them into new, fresh cellular parts. It is literally self-renewal. The reason many Nobel laureates, philosophers, and inhabitants of blue zones often live into their 90s and 100s with their brains fully intact isn't necessarily because they are taking a magic pill. It is often because their lifestyles naturally trigger this cleaning process. The problem is that in our modern world, we have been told to eat 3 meals a day plus snacks. We have been told that if we don't eat every 3 hours, our metabolism will crash. This is physiologically incorrect and frankly dangerous advice for longevity. Here is why. Your body operates on 2 main switches, mTOR and AMPK. You can think of mTOR as the growth switch. When you eat, especially protein and carbohydrates, insulin rises and mTOR is activated. This tells your body, build, grow, divide. This is great if you are a bodybuilder or a growing child. But if you are an adult and you are constantly in growth mode, you are also accelerating the aging process and potentially feeding cancer cells. The other switch is AMPK. This is the repair switch. This is the master regulator of energy that turns on autophagy. But here is the catch. You cannot have both switches on at the same time. They are mutually exclusive. If insulin is high because you just ate a bagel or put sugar in your coffee, autophagy is shut down completely. The cleaning crew goes home. And because most people eat from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to sleep, they spend their entire lives in growth mode, and their cells effectively drown in their own waste. So how do the world's longest-lived, sharpest minds utilize this? It comes down to timing. It is the practice of time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. But I don't want you to think of this as a diet to lose weight. I want you to view it as a medical prescription for cellular hygiene. Here is what happens to your body on a timeline when you stop eating. For the first 4 to 8 hours after your last meal, you are digesting. Your insulin is elevated. You are in growth mode. Nothing magical is happening yet. Around hour 12, your insulin drops to its baseline. This is where the magic begins. Your body runs out of immediate glucose from your blood and starts looking for other fuel. It begins to mobilize stored fat. But more importantly, Around hour 14 to 16, the body senses a lack of incoming nutrients. This mild stress signal tells the cells, okay, we don't have new deliveries coming in, so we need to be efficient. Let's look around the warehouse and see what we can scrap. The cells identify the old senescent machinery, the zombie parts that are just taking up space and causing inflammation, and they digest them for energy. This is the sweet spot. If you can push your eating window so that you are fasting for 16 hours a day, you are giving your body a daily deep clean. This is why you see such cognitive clarity in people who fast. The brain is the most energy-demanding organ, and it is highly susceptible to the accumulation of plaque, specifically amyloid plaques, which are linked to Alzheimer's. Autophagy is the mechanism that clears these plaques. By fasting, you are essentially power washing your brain. Now I know what you are thinking. Dr. Wells, I can't go 16 hours without food. The reality is you are already doing 8 of them while you sleep. We just need to stretch that window. This is where the simple kitchen routine comes in. It is not just about not eating. It is about what you put in your body during that fasting window to accelerate the process. There are 3 things in your kitchen that act as autophagy boosters. These are compounds that mimic the fasting signal without breaking the fast. The first is black coffee. Coffee is rich in polyphenols that have been shown to induce autophagy in the liver and heart. The key is that it must be black. No milk, no sugar, no sweeteners. Even artificial sweeteners can trigger an insulin response in the brain, which shuts down the cleaning process. The second is green tea. Specifically, the catechins in green tea work synergistically with the fasting state to ramp up the recycling of damaged cells. The third is water with a pinch of mineral salt. One of the reasons people feel tired or get headaches when they stop eating isn't a lack of food, it's a lack of electrolytes. When insulin drops, your kidneys flush out water and sodium. By adding a pinch of high-quality salt to your morning water, you maintain your blood volume and your energy levels remain stable. So, here's the protocol I want you to try. It is called the 16-8 Nobel method. You are going to confine all your eating to an 8-hour window. For example, you eat your first meal at 12 p.m., and your last bite of food is swallowed by 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. until 12 p.m. the next day, you are in the repair zone. In the morning, when you wake up, do not rush to the cereal box. That is the old programming. Instead, go to your kitchen and prepare your autophagy cocktail. This is 12 ounces of water with a pinch of sea salt, followed by a cup of black coffee or green tea. This suppresses the hunger hormone, ghrelin, and accelerates the cellular cleanup. You might feel hungry around 10 a.m. This is not true hunger. This is a habit loop. Your body is used to being fed at that time, so it releases a wave of ghrelin. If you drink some water and wait 20 minutes, that wave will pass. It always passes. When you do finally break your fast at noon, it is critical that you do not flood your system with processed carbohydrates. You have just spent 16 hours lowering your insulin and cleaning your cells. If you eat a donut, you spike your insulin so high that you cause oxidative stress, undoing the good work. Break your fast with protein and healthy fats: eggs, avocado, a piece of salmon, or a handful of nuts. This keeps your insulin curve gentle and allows you to transition from the fasted state to the fed state without a crash. I want to address a myth that stops many people, especially women, from trying this. The myth that fasting destroys your metabolism or eats your muscle. This is physiologically false if done correctly. When you fast, your body actually increases the production of human growth hormone, HGH. HGH is muscle sparing. Evolutionarily, this makes sense. If our ancestors hadn't eaten for a day and their bodies immediately started eating their muscle tissue, they would have become too weak to hunt and the human race would have died out. Instead, when we don't eat, HGH surges to protect our muscle mass and our norepinephrine rises to give us energy to go find food. You become sharper, not weaker. The muscle loss only happens if you are starving for days on end, or if you are not eating enough protein during your 8-hour eating window. This is the lifestyle of the longevity elite. It is not about deprivation. It is about alignment with your biology. We evolved to cycle between feasting and fasting. We did not evolve to graze. By constantly grazing, we are rusting our bodies from the inside out. By simply changing the timing of your meals, you tap into a survival mechanism that is billions of years old, a mechanism so profound it won a Nobel Prize. Imagine your body as a high-performance sports car. Would you keep the engine revving at 7,000 RPM while it's parked in the garage? No. You would overheat the engine and blow a gasket. You need to turn the engine off to let it cool down and undergo maintenance. Fasting is turning the engine off. Eating is revving it up. You need both. But right now, you are just revving. I challenge you to try this for 30 days. The first 3 days will be mental battles. Your brain will scream for dopamine. Your stomach will growl out of habit. But by day 7, a fog will lift. You will wake up with a clarity you haven't felt in years. Your inflammation, that creaky knee, that puffiness in your face, will start to vanish because your body is finally having the time to repair the damage. By day 30, your insulin sensitivity will be restored, meaning that when you do eat, your body utilizes the food for energy rather than storing it as visceral fat. This is how you live to 100, not by luck, but by design. You have the power to clean your cells. You have the power to reset your biology. It doesn't cost a penny. It just requires the discipline to look at the clock and say, not yet. Thank you for giving me your attention and for prioritizing your health today. If this explanation helped you understand your body better, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. I want you to try the 16-8 method starting tomorrow, and I want you to come back to this video and comment on how your energy levels changed after the first week. Drink your water, mind your timing, and let your body heal itself.